Well, welcome everybody. This is Bill Converse, and this is our Saturday morning webinar. This is designed really to give people access to information. It's really designed so that we can start incorporating some of our common knowledge and common information into all of our meetings, and kind of do it in a format that is much more friendly. It's always nice to be able to see the people that you're working with. And so the format usually is I invite a number of panelists to help me with the program. And then we have a lot of people that are called participants, which means that they are just on a listen-only, look-only basis, and you can use your chat button to send questions in, and then everybody that's on the panel will take a crack at answering your questions. And so it really turns out to be a 1 hour of, I think, pretty good stuff. And it's always current, and it's always something that is new and pertinent. So today with me, if you guys will all unmute just so we can say hi, I have Cher Weinrau. Cher, talk a little bit about what's going on in Hilton Head, just briefly.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this Saturday webinar call. We've got lots of interest with people with all kinds of pollen issues right now, with all the springtime flowers in bloom. And boy, AirRestore comes to the rescue every time you share the product with people. And of course, it's something that goes viral because they have to share it with their friends. So we're excited about what it's doing for us here in the South with all the current pollen problems, Bill.
Well, thank you. And, you know, it is a perfect time. And I want to tell you, I've just been down in Houston with Cesar Vinson. And Cesar, if you just go ahead and unmute just so you can say hi. But you want to talk about a business opportunity with the flooding and the rain that they have had down there in Houston. Every single house in Houston is being bombarded right now with mold. You can't go anywhere without walking into the building and starting to smell the mold grow. And it's because it's the most beautiful conditions for growing mold you can imagine. Hot, humid, damp, lots of rain, lots of spores. They've got mold all over the place. And I was just telling people down there that it was not too long ago that I think it was last spring when they had their rains down there and we had flooded houses, that we saved more than one house by just having them put in their AirRestores in all the rooms after they've been flooded and they didn't get a bit of mold. Cesar, if you just want to unmute for just a second and say hi to everybody.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the live webinar on Saturday, April 23. Just like what Bill said, you know, we have a big opportunity here in Houston because of the mold problem with the homes and even cars, and compounding that with the allergy season and the chemical smell, you know, due to the refineries that all over Houston and Texas. So Texas is a very big market for AirRestore. Thank you very much for your invention, Bill.
Well, you know, we spent a full, very, very busy day down in your part of the country, and we visited a number of different opportunities, and you gave us the opportunity to speak with some medical people, and that was really great. But I congratulate you. You've got an up-and-coming group. Your group is growing well, and we're going to talk a little bit about how you do that a little later on. Lori Grogoski is over in, it's not Crossville. Where are you from, Lori?
Yes, it's Crossville. Yes, you're correct.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about what's going on in Middle Tennessee.
Middle Tennessee, we definitely have the allergy issues. There's yellow dust all over everything outside, and I can't go anywhere without at least seeing or hearing somebody sneezing or complaining about the allergies, which is a perfect opportunity to just hand out a business card and say, here, I have something for you to try and see how well it works for you.
Yeah, it really is. It is an opportunity. This is the time of year when we really have got the answers for a lot of people. But as much as we have with the product, we're going to talk a little bit about something special that some questions that came up on this trip. And I know that in the community that you're at, you are basically in what I guess is termed a retirement community out there. And retirement communities are kind of special in that people are more concerned about their health and a lot of times, and concerned about their incomes and everything else. And so I know that you're starting to build a pretty good little organization out there within your own community, and now stretching out to some other parts of the country as well. Talk about the reception you get with the product just from your retirement community there.
The retirement community here, I've started like an ad campaign with your unretirement brochures, and a lady that I work with, she's going to do a whole segment on e-newsletters that she sends out to everybody in our county, actually. And when I meet some of the older people and they totally get that, they tell me, oh, well, that's kind of an expensive product, I'm not sure if I can afford it. And then when I tell them that they can make money on it, because I do get asked the question quite often, if I turn somebody over to you, do I get a part of the commission? And that's really the door that opens up to say, you pay the dealer fee of an extra $29 when you buy the system, and you can sell these and make the whole commission yourself. So they've been pretty receptive to that.
So what you're describing is that the mailbox money is really pretty effective.
Absolutely.
That I think that of all the things that we have done, creating the excitement with the mailbox money has been one of the most important things that we do. I know that we've been recently talking about where you go, who it is that we're trying to get into the business, and some of the frustrations that you have. One of the questions that came up during this last meeting, the series of meetings that we had down in Houston, was about recruiting and where to recruit, where to try to find people to get involved. And I think that there are two things really involved here. Caesar, I know I invited Jerry to be on. I don't see him on our panel, and so I'm going to ask you kind of to speak a little bit about what Jerry has done, because Jerry is, I think, if you want to just unmute Caesar, I think, isn't not Jerry just in his last month of qualification for sales manager? I believe this is the month that he will become sales manager. Is that true?
He's trying to be first month qualifier for this month.
Okay.
Sales manager, yeah.
Well, it was kind of fun because at the meeting that we had down there, we were talking about where to get recruits, and I don't know if you'd like to kind of share the story about the couple that he brought to there and where he found them. Go ahead and just kind of talk about where he found those people.
Well, he goes to different associations of. In the Philippines, there is this Bicolano Association. It's a region in the Philippines that who came here in Houston, and they are well united here in Houston. So they go to this part of association and introduce themselves and befriended the leaders of that association, and finally got to introduce the business of Air Restore.
Okay.
And that's exactly how our recruiting goes. We target the leaders of every association and make them, from them on, it will spread from the whole association. We target the religious groups. There are so many religious groups here too. We target for example, the medical people, the leaders of the medical people. Mm-hmm. And then from then on, because we want to build a momentum, if the leaders believe in us, in the product, the followers, they will be much easier to convince.
Well, I was very impressed that evening. He had done something the day before our meeting. He had basically gone to essentially another company and kind of lured those people back into us. And so talk a little bit about where that couple came from that he visited the night before.
Yeah, he also did that. He went to another, it's an Ambit networking. Mm-hmm. So he attended their networking business. for them to. I will attend there, but promise me that you will also attend to my networking business.
Well, you know, that's kind of one of the things which I suppose that I should be very offended at, that he's going to another meeting. But one of the things that it really, I think, the more I'm around other companies, the more I'm around other networkers, I am absolutely convinced that the things that we have to offer in our network plan are so superior to what everybody else that is out there, that I really don't get that concerned when somebody comes and if somebody goes to another network company, because my belief is if we don't have the best plan, if we don't have the best opportunity, then people should go somewhere else. You know, you shouldn't waste your time with things that are not the best things that you can possibly do. And I know that you believe that, because we've had some conversations about it. And I thought one of the most outstanding things that you do is basically teaching the 4 no's. And I think that is so great. Share with everybody what the 4 no's are and how you kind of work it into your presentations when you talk to people about the business.
Yeah, that's why, you know, I encourage everyone. You know, I actually encourage Jerry to, you know, attend those networking events, and I too myself do that, because we are very confident that, as what you said, this is the most superior networking company and networking plan that we have. It's very generous. So that's why I developed this 4 no's, you know, included it in all my presentation. Here they are. You know, the first no is no competition. You know, our product, it's not, you know, vitamins. It's not minerals. It's not something that you drink. It's not something, you know, there's no competition. There's nothing like it. It's the first one of its kind. So you know that if your product has no competition, the profit potential is really, really good. And that would open a lot of their eyes. Another thing, you know, our networking company, unlike other networking companies, they require people to pay monthly for their website. But ours, we have no monthly website fee. You only pay one time, $29, and that's it. It's a lifetime. Others will require you to pay a yearly website fee, but ours is lifetime. And then another one is other networking companies, once you get promoted, and if you don't perform well, you get demoted. You go back to the lower rank. But you know, our networking plan is so great, so generous, that you get promoted, you stay there. Even though you don't perform for so many months, you're still there. You still maintain your rank. You know, they don't have that. And then the 4th no is, you know, you're on your no quota. You have no quota to maintain your rank. Once you achieve your rank, you're there. You know, you're on your own boss. And so, you know, with those people, I've targeted a lady who ran for mayor of Houston. She's into networking business all the time. You know, whenever she see a networking business, she knows what is good and what is bad. So when I presented these 4 no's to her, this is the only thing I presented to her. Immediately she said, "Oh, I like it. Sign me up." She called the secretary. Come down here. Sign me up right away.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think you left one out too. The one that I have seen right now that people really, really like is no auto ship.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the no auto ship. Yeah. No monthly quota, no monthly. That's what I call no monthly website fee or no auto ship. That's what I'm trying to refer a while ago.
Yeah. But you know that just that word auto ship, just every time you talk to a networker and you mention the word auto ship, you just see the look of disappointment in their face and go, "Oh, auto ship. You know, I wonder how much product I'm going to accumulate in my garage before I make any money." And so, you know, the fact that we don't have that is so huge. I had somebody ask me, because I have to tell you, after I heard you talk about the way you use the no's, your 4 no's to be able to attract people, I'm basically I'm working it into all of my talks because it didn't dawn on me until you hear somebody else say it, how significant that really is. And the fact that there is no auto ship is one of the things that is so important to so many people. And they say, so you mean, once I sign up, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to have an auto ship. I don't have a monthly fee. I don't have to do anything, and I still get paid money. And we say, well, no. Let's wait just a minute. You have to do something to get money. You have to build an organization. You have to retail to get money. But you have to do what you're going to do, not necessarily what we're going to do to make you jump through some hoops or try to force volume that nobody really wants that's not real. We want you to be successful, and the company has to be successful. And so things have to happen. So all these things that we don't demote people, we don't make them, we don't nickel dime them, as I call it. There is no auto ship, but all that means is that anytime that they're not doing anything, they're not losing anything except for money that they could be earning. But to get a check, to get a bonus check, then you have to do something. And I think that people really understand that is a fair way to do it. I don't think anybody really truly expects to get something for nothing. Share. Well, just join us on this a little bit. I know that you talk to an awful lot of people as well. Have you ever thought about the fact that these no's that Caesar's talking about are so powerful?
It's something, Bill, that we've always had since the company first got created by you. And, I really never put such a perspective on it. Now that Caesar has brought this to our attention, it truly is one of our biggest assets.
Yeah.
And you're right, as you share the business with people, when they learn that an auto ship is not required, that, there's an amazing immediate income that can be derived really virtually the first day, and you have the money in your hand within a few days after that, it's truly remarkable. And I really like how you put all this together for us, Caesar, that we really need to bundle these amazing benefits that we have instead of just casually talking about it. I think, Bill, we really need to make it something that is our platform on why we're unique and different.
I think so, too. Lori, I know that you're always looking for something with your people to try to get their attention, to do something to kind of stand out. That's one of the problems with networking in general. It's really very hard to be any different than anybody else. And when you stop and think about it, Caesar's right. We have no competition in the product. But I think the biggest thing is that I don't think we've got any competition with our marketing plan.
True. I think one of the first things that I'd asked you when I first met you as I was considering coming into the business was whether there was any requirements. Am I required to purchase anything more than I want to? Do I need to, is it mandatory that I come to the meetings, and listen in on Monday nights? And it's not mandatory, but man, that's how I've really learned about the product and about other people's trials and errors. And that's Monday night calls and these Saturday morning webinars. You learned so much more than you would ever believe.
Oh, yeah. And we learn from each other. I mean, I go out and everybody says, oh, I learned so much from Bill when he's out doing a presentation. But what you don't realize is I learned as well. And like I say, when I get out and hear what people are talking about and I see how they're presenting it, Caesar's been a sales manager now for a number of months and has got a great little organization. I shouldn't say little organization. He's got a great organization down there, and he's got some exciting things happen that we're not going to really talk about tonight that are going to be in the future as he pioneers some of the stuff that we are doing down there. But he's got a solid group of people, and as he's saying, as Caesar's saying, it's all about the networking. Caesar, let's just go back again if you want to unmute us a second. Now I know that you started out, and I think if I'm not mistaken, you kind of started out with people that you knew that I think are largely in the Filipino community. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of branching out. But just, you think about, well, how big a group can you just build within the Filipino community? How many people do you think there are down there that if you really went out, how big an organization could you build just inside the Filipino community in the Houston area? Have you got any idea what those numbers would be? How many people
Yeah.
are doing it?
Houston is most of the Filipinos all over America are pouring into Houston at a rate of about 10% a year. So people from California, from all over states, from New York, they are all moving to Houston because of cheaper houses, cheaper living conditions. And most of the people coming in here are in the medical field, mostly nurses or doctors.
Yeah, that's a great field to mine from.
Yeah.
My point is that when you think about the number of people that are there, how big the pool is, you started out with people that were kind of familiar with networking. They like networking, but I noticed this last time when I was down there, you had a lot of people down there in your group that had no idea what network marketing is all about. Isn't that not true?
That's true, because most of them now are doctors, physicians, so they have no idea about networking. But it's only that they got so impressed with the product, and later found out that, oh, there's an opportunity to earn income from here. So that's why they're so amazed.
Well, I was talking to a group the other night and explaining they're still all confused about why we do things the way we do. Why don't we charge people for a monthly fee? How can you possibly work if you don't have an auto ship? Because you got to have an auto ship to make people buy product. And I was trying to explain to them that no, the whole purpose of this thing is to recognize how people work and to recognize that they are not going to do anything that they do not want to do. And I know you're a great guy, you're a great leader and everything, but people still quit, don't they? There's nothing you can do to keep them.
That's another problem. When people have good salaries, out of their profession, they would end up as of course, they would have it tried by their friends, and then their friends would also try it and later join. But because, it's not really their focus to earn money out of networking, so they would quit. But, I have people like that 4 months ago who quit, but now suddenly they're becoming active again.
and we have a term for that. It's called R. ARR, automatic automatic reactivation rate. So basically you're seeing in your organization what's happening now all over everywhere because of the fact that we do not have these things. People don't understand that by not having something people are forced to do, not nickel-diming them, not trying to get that monthly fee from them, that what we do is we present them with an opportunity so that they can work the business that they want to. I would rather have somebody that is excited about doing the business the way they want to do it than for me to push my will on them and say, no, you have to do it my way, and if you don't, I'm going to fine you by making you pay a reactivation fee or something like that. Because that business opportunity, if it's good, if it's really good at all, is always going to be there, and that's really a very important thing. I absolutely believe that our marketing plan, that fundamental first step marketing plan on the 3x3 that we talked about the night that when we did your meeting down there, is the way to build a business. If you build a business with the 3x3 and you get everybody to do that first step one, and let me just see if I can get that step one up here right now because I want to talk about that. Oop. Here we go. See if I can get us here. Whoops, got the wrong page. What you see right now, I think, is the most important page that we have got, because I think on this page we actually describe what this whole business is really about. This step one that we have here, and we spent quite a bit of time on that in the meeting with some of the people that were there a little bit early in the meeting and going through this thing in great detail. And I think that those people that were there that really understood how significant this is as to what can be built so that there is a long-term investment, a long-term worth to the company, recognize that this is basically the essence of the business. And if I can just go through very quickly and share this with everybody, because if you teach everybody this, everybody that comes in and says, well, what is your marketing plan about? Show me the details of your marketing plan. I don't go right away and start showing them the actual details with all the numbers and the percentages and the qualifications, because that's such an overload and they don't really visualize what it is they have to do, how they go about doing the business. And I think this is so much more important to them. So in essence, how do you do the business? Number one, share, you know what that number one thing is. What is that number one thing that we don't do? I don't know if she can unmute to get that or not. I can tell you right now. I'll just continue.
Here we go. Share the product.
Yeah, exactly. You do not sell the product. And I practically stand on my tiptoes and scream that at people, because if you try to sell the product, you're going to go down a path that makes it very difficult, because you've got to convince people that all the other thousands of different kinds of products that are supposed to do things to help make the air better, why they don't work. And if you have to win by attacking and destroying all the competition first before they even know what it is that we're doing, I think that's such an uphill battle. And that's why I insist that do not sell the product, share the product. Don't, and make sure that people have a chance to try the product first. It'll just eliminate so many problems out of the of getting that first experience. And we know that if you do not share the product, if they do not try the product, you have maybe, if you've got a nice close friend or something like that, a 50-50 chance of people buying the product. But after they've tried it, your percentage of closing is going to go way up. It's going to go way up into the 80s and 90%, because now there's no discussion about how it works or what it is. They've now experienced it. And step two is you do that in the first 24 hours. You do not let these things go slow. You do everything that you can to shorten that time from the time that they first experience it to the time that you're going to ask them to start making a commitment or starting to give you feedback. Two reasons for that. First of all, we have a product that as it continues to work becomes less and less obvious that it's around. It's not like our old product where when an environment started getting cleaned up, the ozone level would go up and everybody could smell that nice clean smell of the ozone. But it kept building up to tell you that now it's clean because now all I can smell is ozone. Well, with our product, it's just the opposite, because you're getting odors during the time that you're cleaning up. But as soon as you are cleaned up, all those things kind of disappear in the background. And so it's very difficult for people to remember how bad it was before. And if you go a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month or something like that, people can't remember how bad it was that long. You have to do something extra, then say, okay, unplug the unit so you can remember how bad it was to begin with. Second reason why you want to do it is because you don't have to build big inventories. If you're going to continue to do the business and you're going to ask for somebody to do a week-long trial, it takes 7 times as much inventory as if you just ask them for a 24-hour trial. And so there's a business reason and a practical reason to do that. And you don't have to, remember, you don't have to solve the whole problem in that period of time. If you just show them that it's doing something and it's working and it will continue to get better, that's about all you really have to do. You have to ask for the results. Line 3, ask for the results. Don't tell people what it did for you initially. Ask them what it did for them. because if you tell them what it did for you, that's the only thing that they're going to focus on. And if they don't, that doesn't happen to be their big problem, it may solve another problem for them that's way bigger than that doesn't really mean anything to them, and you miss that opportunity. So, and people don't usually talk about all the problems that they really have. They keep a lot of stuff kind of themselves. So, not being able to sleep, waking up in the middle of the night, sometimes is simply because you wake yourself up because you're snoring. You can't really predict what people are going to see as a result. But if you always ask them, and it's really easy to ask them, and you can really get there, because this is all a step-by-step process, getting them to share the product. And getting them to share the product without you telling them what it's going to do is kind of a little bit of a trick. So there's a couple things that you can learn. One of the things you can learn is what is it you're going to be able to say when they say, well, what is the product? What does it really do? And Cher, I know you've got the answer for that. What do we tell people?
We simply restore the energy back into the air to allow indoor air to act like outdoor air.
Congratulations. That is exactly right. And we kind of kid, Cher and I kid a little bit about that, because as simple as that statement is, you do need to practice it. And we've kind of put a mental block in front of her, so that maybe a big mental block when it comes right down to it. But that's the idea, something really simple. Make the indoor air. I don't have any idea how it works. I just know that it restores the energy back into the air to make indoor air act like outdoor air. And everybody knows what outdoor air is like. You know what outdoor air is like. Get past that. Try it. And then if they really want to know, after they've tried it, if they've had the 24-hour period, then you got their results, then you're free to talk about all the kinds of things that you want to talk about. Well, how does it kill bacteria? How does it do this? How does it do that? You get them to go to the website. You get them to look at the materials that are back there, the little videos that are back there. And we're going to talk about one new item a little later today. And then offer them the free alternative, because when you ask for the results and you ask them whether or not it did anything for them, they may say no, because it's not a high priority item. They still haven't really got an appreciation for what it did, but there's something to really get their attention. And if you just say, would it work any better if it was for free? And they would always say something like, sure. Obviously, if something's free, my criteria for working kind of drops down a little bit. And so then you show them how, going through this step one here, how they can get their unit for free and their whole house system for free. And you walk them through the steps. And so you say, well, the first thing to get it for free is that we're going to enroll you. And enroll, well, how much does that cost? And you have to tell them $399. And I'm sure the reaction is, that does not sound like free to me. And then you have to show them, no, but I can show you how it does get to be free. You do exactly what I'm doing with you. I ask you to share the product. I ask to get the results. I'm offering you a deal here that, at worst case, will give you your unit for free. And at best case, it'll launch a business for you that you just can't believe. And so, how does it work? Do I get it free? Well, because obviously, if this is you, and you go down and take a look at that very first person they enroll, they get this enrollment bonus. And what's an enrollment bonus? Every time that you enroll somebody in the company, the next day the company cuts you a check for $130, and depending on your nail service, a couple of days later, you're going to get a check in your mailbox. It's going to be worth $130, and you've got 1/3 of your product already paid for. You do that a second time, you get another $130, and now you've got 2/3 of it paid for. You do the last one, and it's $130, and now you're within $9 of having your unit totally paid for. And then comes the real big shock, and that is because what you have done is just, number one, it's earned you a promotion to the next step on the first step on the ladder. But the big thing is, the company sends you, without your asking, begging, pleading, or anything else, automatically comes in the mail another whole house system worth $370. So basically what you have done is you've shown somebody how they can keep their own product, get it paid for, and end up with another whole product, and they are now launched a business. And people that say, oh, I can't sell anything, I've never sold anything in my life, they can do this. They can do that very easily, because that's something that they're just asking their friends. They're just taking it to people they know. The second step of this, of course, is where they start building the business. But that's why I say we really focus on this as the basic building block. And if you just repeat this yourself, or you teach other people to repeat this very, very simple thing, you can build a very large organization in a very short period of time. And so that's why I say this is one area that we can really focus on. So, Cher, tell me, and congratulations again on being able to remember it. How well does this work?
It works really well, simply by restoring the energy back into the air to make the indoor air act like the outdoor air.
That's cool. That's very good. Cesar, I know that you're kind of using a variation of this kind of thing, but getting people in and keeping it really simple has worked pretty well for you. Do you find that you can recruit new people that don't think that they can sell anything?
I thought that's the beauty of our business. People don't need to learn how to sell.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, that's it.
Well, the three ladies that were, and I wish I could remember their names, but I met so many people down there, I'm having trouble. But we had three people that were in the audience, and they were waiting to get started because they were wanting to wait until the 20th to get started. And they were going to build a business, and they are not networkers. They told me that they've never sold anything in their life, but they're excited about doing this. Why were they waiting? Do you remember why they were waiting until the 20th?
Yeah, they're waiting until the 20th because they're taking advantage of the extra 10 days to complete their R3s and for their promotions too. So I was telling you that expect more people coming in on the 20th and 21st.
Yeah, well, it's kind of strange, I've been looking, where's all the volume this month? I don't understand what's going on. Well, people took them 1 month to figure it out. And so they're not going to sign up on the 19th. They're going to sign up on the 20th, because if they sign up on the 19th, they have 2 weeks to get their R3. And if they sign up on the 20th, they have 40 days to get their R3. And so they were sitting there, and one had sponsored the other, who had then sponsored them. So we've got three people in a row sitting there waiting to get started in their business. And those ladies I don't believe that they're networkers at all. I think that this is a new adventure for them. And I don't know, have they got any networking experience?
No, they don't really have any networking experience. They're just, at first they were just impressed by the product, and just realized that, oh, this is a good business opportunity.
Yeah. Well, and it started out with a product, and that's where you have to start out, and then they could see themselves doing it, and they were having fun. They were actually having fun, because this is a new adventure for them. Now, you know what's going to happen, because this, going back to just that step one that we were looking at there. I know they don't think that they can sell anything at all, but when they have sold that very first one, and by enrolling somebody else into the business, when they get that mailbox money check, they're going to think, I didn't realize I was the world's greatest salesperson. As a hidden talent that I didn't know that I had. And all of a sudden they start building confidence in themselves and realize, I don't have to have any special skills. I just talk to people, and the plan will take care of itself. The money will take care of itself. And they become so bound in to it when they get that first check and that second check and the third check. And even somebody as seasoned as you, how did you feel when you started getting mailbox money? How did that feel?
Well, I feel that, oh, this is real. This is really true. I can't believe it.
Yep. Well, and then on top of that, when you get a whole house system worth $370, what network company gives you a gift after doing only three things, getting three people enrolled? You get a $370 bonus. I mean, that is something that is part of the whole program that we have to basically make people, the newest person in the business, have some success. So when we do that, and I think you mentioned it just a few minutes ago, and I see Jerry has joined us. Welcome, Jerry. Somebody we should probably tell him he is on camera. I'll bet he's confused about what time of day it is. So we will see. So let me just continue on. The idea that we can create this experience that no other company can by having the newest people is successful. When you were describing how big your Filipino community is down there, you only have a small fraction of the people that have ever actually been involved in networking. What if you could get them all? What if you could get half of them? You know, because there is no limit, because they don't need special skill. That really changes the dynamics, doesn't it?
We're getting there, Bill. That's our view. We're getting there. And that's why, you know, we're so excited. We're getting there.
Well, I want to show you something a little different today, because I want to share with you why it's so important to be able to have these people have this great experience. I'm going to do this. The idea is that if we can create an environment where people actually have a great experience, we create a residual. And you know, a lot of people that have been in network marketing say, yeah, but there's no residual. You sell one and it's all over. And they don't realize that the residual is basically the business, not the product. And so by having people that have had this great experience where they have had something that they have done that they've never done in their life, they went out and they sold something. You know, most people are deadly afraid of selling anything. They think they've been sold by so many people that they're afraid of being sold to anymore. And by having a group of people, because if you do the 3x3, and you have people that are actually going to be able to make money and have that great experience, you do create a situation where if you do a 3x3 every single month, you can create a residual income by these people who think that they're not salespeople. And I'm just going to kind of walk everybody through it. So remember, if you do a 3x3, and we've been through this a couple times, if you do a 3x3, you're going to end up with about 40 people in your group. I know Jerry, who just joined us, he has now got his 40 people, or almost 40 people, I think, and he's going to be sales manager this month. And when he gets to be sales manager, he's going to have a nice group to be able to work with. And somebody else is going to then want to do what he did, and they're going to build an organization, and they will do the same thing. And so each month, if your goal is to set out to take 3 people, getting 3 people, getting 3 people, and just do that for a period of 12 months, take a look at what happens in terms of residual income. So if you do that, and you can see, if you do a 3x3 for each month for 12 months, and people say, well, I don't know that many people. My gosh, how many people really is that? Well, it's not. You only know 3 people. And you rely on them getting their 3 people and rely on those people getting their 3 people. You don't have to know a huge number of people. But if you do that as a sales manager, here's what happens. We have a thing we call the automatic reactivate rate. You know what that is? The automatic reactivate rate is simply this. If I take one of those ladies that we were just talking about, and after she does this and goes to her close personal friend, and she's going to make some money, and then pretty soon it's going to become, oh my gosh, where do I go next? And now it's kind of boring. After I've made money and it's that easy, something else happens. Maybe she gets distracted, whatever. She's going to quit. As excited as she is today, she will quit. But in our organization, because they have that place, that she will have probably worked herself up by then to at least a master distributor. Master dealer. And so she's got some position in the company. She knows how to do it. And all of a sudden, 3 months from now, 4 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, she's going to say, golly, that was fun. Oh, I spent too much for Christmas. I need to do something to get some money. I've got a medical bill. You know, who knows what reason, but for their reason, not your reason, their reason, they will say, wow, you know what? I could just go back and do my Aerie store business because I don't have to go get anybody's permission. I don't have to requalify for anything. I don't have to get on my hands and knees and beg Caesar to come back. I don't have to beg the company to reinstate me. All I got to do is start. And the first thing you're going to know is not because they're going to call you and say, can I, may I? They're just going to do it, and you're going to see on your back office report that somebody did something. And that's what I call about the automatic recovery rate. Now, I can tell you right now that the automatic recovery rate is going to be between 5 and 10%, and of all the people you have in your group. And so if you're faithful about getting your 3x3 and you do that for a year, you're going to have 12 times basically 40 people, or about, call it 500 people in your group, 480 people in your group. So here's the math. If you just kind of look at this presentation. So if you do that, you get 40 people a month, which means you only have to find 3 people to get 3 people. So you're going to get 40 people a month. You're going to have 480 people in your group, and only about 12 times 3 or 36 of those are people that you knew. So the rest of the people are people that they knew that got in. If you just take the 5% reactivate rate times those 480 people, that's 24 new members that are going to come in, that they're going to recruit. And that means that now next month you're going to have 504 people. So your group's going, and you didn't do anything. That sounds like a residual, but look at the other thing that's going to kick in. So if the R3 effect kicks in, and the R3 effect kicks in is once you enroll one person, it's kind of easy to do a second one, because in a couple, 3 days, that check for $130 comes, and you go, that's kind of nice. I know this other one, I might as well do that one. Once you have done 2, how much pressure is there, Caesar, to do that third one? How much pressure are you under to get that third one?
Not so much really at all. I was surprised that, they just started acting again.
It's almost like a drug, isn't it? I mean, once they get 2, you got to get that third one, because if you don't get that third one, you're going to give up $370. And at the end of the month, I can tell you that statistically, 20% of all the sales that are made on the end of the month are for R3s. People getting that last R3 in so that they are able to get that in that calendar month. Now, here's the profit, because the R3 effect means that instead of doing 1 when they reactivate, they're going to do 3. That means you're going to bring in 72 new members. So your organization is, once you get it going, once you get the inertia going, once you get it going with these people in your organization, even if you don't think they're going to do anything, your organization is going to continue to grow without your having to go out and find new people. They're finding them for you. And when you do that and you take a look, well, what does that do for your income? That just the residual amounts to 140 PV times the 72 that you've got. That's 10,000 PV. By the way, what is the new maintain for sales manager? Share, what's the new PV requirement to qualify to get a bonus check for a sales manager?
10,000 PV.
Oh, that means that once you've done this for 12 months, your requirement's automatically met.
Yes.
Without you doing anything. You talk about a residual, that's about as big a residual as you can get. In terms of dollars, the 10,800, I use 30% because a sales manager makes 20%, the distributor makes 10%, and those there's some more there really because you're getting commissions on those lower ranks as well. But basically, if you just look at the 30%, that's about $3,200 a month retirement. That's $36,000 a year as a residual on a commission on your open group. To me, that is a residual. I think we need to talk to people in terms about that we do have a company with a residual. Take a look at this. Now, you're a sales manager, and share how many downline sales managers do you have?
I've lost count. I'm not sure.
Well,
Lots.
you got a bunch. Okay. And you go several generations down. Now, if you had instituted the 3x3, because some of those were built without the 3x3, but as new people build it with the 3x3, what they're going to see is that as you build it with the 3x3, every one of your groups, every one of your sales manager groups underneath you does 3x3. They're going to have that same residual. But if I just look at the residual, because you're getting residuals off of what your group does, as well as all of the ones underneath you.
That's right.
And that's where this thing really starts to get scary.
And exciting.
Because, just looking at this thing, okay, if I look at the math here, in the open group, it says, look, I'm going to make $3,200 on my own open group, and it's going to actually, after a year, and you've got 3 levels of sales managers built. Your first level sales managers are going to almost give you that much yourself. You're going to get almost $2,600 from your first level of sales managers, the ones that you help to get to be sales manager. The residual, you're going to get more than that because you're going to get what they're doing for their active business, but just the residual is going to be $2,600. At level 2, because you got 9 of them, that income is going to be about $3,900. And on the third level, when you get up there, it's almost $6,000. And you put that all together, that's a $15,000 per month residual. Per month residual. What company can you get involved in that still believes in the consumable myth that you can build a residual income on the consumable? There just aren't companies that actually can deliver. Nobody gets that kind of a residual unless they've been around for 10 years, 15 years in some kind of a big consumable company and are be able to produce that. It just doesn't happen. So basically, if you take a look at that, that's $15,000 per month. And if you can recall, what we really expect to have happen once you've got that same income built, that same income from your working group on a month-by-month basis is $20,000. So that means that once you've got your 3x3 built with sales managers, you have basically an income that will continue on of something like $35,000 a month without regard for the fact that it's going to go down 7 generations deep. I tell you that anybody can take this system, and if they are faithful, if they are diligent, if they are consistent, and if they understand what they have to do is every single month, they've got to be able to build a 3x3, that in a year there's not a single person that cannot build a business that will produce at least $200,000, $250,000 a month income. It can be done. And that puts you in not only in the top 1% of the people in this country, but it puts you in about the top 0.5% or 0.25% of the people. It makes you one of the richest people in the country. And everybody can do it because we have provided the scheme, we've provided the model, we've provided the product, and people have, and so it is something that is entirely doable. Obviously, it's not easy, and people have to work to do it. So as you look at that, those are pretty interesting, aren't they, Cher?
Oh, yes, they are, Bill. The numbers don't lie. And we've already had amazing success with people already achieving some of those numbers. So it's already been proven.
I'm going to call on Jerry. Jerry, you're on camera and you're on mic. Talk a little bit about your business. Brag a little bit. You're going to become sales manager this month, aren't you?
Yeah, before anything else, I'd like to greet the birthday boy. Happy birthday, by the way. And share. These are, hi, Laurie.
Happy birthday, Bill.
All right.
The virtual birthday cake.
Well, I want to tell you, I've had my birthday celebrated down in Houston. Caesar and Jerry spoiled me rotten while I was down there, and I had a great time. You want a treat. have Jerry sing happy birthday to you. He is an accomplished musician, let me tell you that. I really enjoyed what he did. And now he's not only an accomplished musician, but he's going to be a sales manager. And I watched what he's been doing in these last couple months. Jerry, you kind of missed out on the very first part, but we were bragging on you about where you're getting your people from, where you're going, and the meetings you're attending, and so forth. Share with us just a little bit about how you're building your group.
Well, actually, good morning, everyone. I started last September when the first time you came over to Houston. Remember?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay. What? I'm still skeptical about this. And I'm still working with other companies. I work with Methodist. Then I have a part-time with a golf course with Herman Clark. Then I finally decided to leave all my work for this. It's hard to be in love with a lot of. I only have to love one, only Aries door. So when I get there the second time, just right when California has approved Aries store in California, and that was I guess it was January 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
I finally decided to join and give my heart to it on January 15th. There you go. It all started that way, and then in 2 days I was able to get some friends. Well, I guess I'll never run out of friends. Otherwise, you'll be a member of NFL.
Yeah. Well, we were just
no friends left.
we were just bragging on you about how you started to go to other network meetings and tell people about the really good opportunity. And I thought it was really great that a new couple came to our meeting the other night, and it looked to me like that they were pretty interested. Did they finally sign up that night, or are they going to try the product first?
They are just like me. You have to try.
Mm-hmm.
I told them, we're not selling this. You have to try it.
Yeah.
And there they are. And it spreads like wildfire. You know, Ambit is a power energy provider. They're the marketing group. Ambit. It's very near.
Yep. Well, I congratulate you. I really love what you're doing down there with your group. You're going to be one of the first new sales managers that's gone all the way through the 2-month period. You're going to have your 40 people. You're going to have an operating group. You got a great future. And, you know, between you and Caesar down there, you're tearing them up. You guys are doing a great job. And so I've got an opportunity. I've never done this before. I've had John Smith raise their hand, and I'm going to promote him to the panel list, and we're going to see if he's got a question that he's want to be able. We're going to be able to answer. We're going to see whether I can get him there or not. John, are you there? Yes, he is. So, did you have a question or something, John? I think you're on the panel, so I think you can talk if you unmute. I don't see that you're muted. Are you there? Don't know. I might have done something wrong. So let me just wrap this one up. We always have time for questions, and we're going to just stop the recording in a minute here. But just let me say this. You know, I spent 2 days down in Houston. Houston is one city. It's a great city. They've got lots of stuff like mold and things like that. We've got some exciting things that we're going to be doing down there with Caesar's group, because we're going to be paving some new ground, plowing some new ground. But all over this country, people are finding the opportunity. The other meetings that I did down there, people are going, I can't believe that that this works the way you say it does. It's almost too good to be true, but it's not, and people are realizing that, and I think the word is getting out, and I think we really have to lead with things like Caesar's doing with the 4 No's. I think we have to lead with the business opportunity. I think we have to tell people that it really, really is real. I think we really have to show them our bonus checks. I think we really have to do all those kinds of things, because I think our business opportunity is probably one of the greatest things we've got. You know, we're going to have some new products, and we're going to be doing some of the things that are going to make our existing product way better even than it is now. But I don't think that we can improve much on the marketing plan that we have, because by helping the newest people be successful, showing them that there is a way that they can take charge of their life, giving them some hope. And for many people, that's an answer to their prayer. You may not realize it, but sometimes God's using us as an answer to their prayer when there's something coming around, something that they can change their life with, that's real, that they have control of, and nobody is dictating that they have to do it in a particular way. We're showing them a way, and here's a way that works, but they don't have to do that. And by giving people the freedom to be successful, giving people the opportunity to grow, I think is absolutely wonderful. I think it is in fact what this company has been called to do. And so I get just absolutely thrilled about it. I want everybody to check your back office, because I'm increasing my schedule. We're going to be out in California in about 2 weeks. I don't know exactly where it's at, where all the places are at, but from what I've been told, it looks like I'm going to be doing more than one meeting a day for about 10 days, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be up over in the Massachusetts area, in the Connecticut area, Enfield, Connecticut, next Thursday. We're going to be down in the Philadelphia area the next Sunday, not this coming one, but a week from Sunday, and then we're going to have a very busy schedule. So, Cher, you got anything that we should be covering that I have forgotten?
Bill, you know, I just am very excited that you're able to provide us with this opportunity to share in this webinar format. I think it's very, very efficient for more people across the country and soon the world that get to touch you and in this format instead of having you travel all over. And, you know, Bill, I've worked with you for over 25 years, and I have always thought of you as such a gift. And today, because it's your birthday, we are giving you a virtual gift of a birthday cake. Here, happy birthday, Bill.
Oh, thank you.
And truly, you are a gift. Ooh, I got some frosting. You are a gift to all of us.
That tasted good.
And we just wish you a happy and blessed birthday. And we so appreciate the gift that you give us. And I hope that your gift that you're giving the world of Air Restore can be spread through people like us to get your amazing technology that's a gift from God out to the world. And so thank you very much, and happy birthday, Bill.
Thank you all. And Caesar, thank you for the participation today. I think people learned a lot and got pretty excited about what you're doing. Jerry, I can't say how proud I am of you, because you're building a solid group there, and those people are actually blessed by what you're doing, and by your cautious example of just not jumping in with both feet, tasting it a little bit first, but now that you've sold out to it, there's nobody stronger. Lori, thank you for what you're doing up there in the Middle Tennessee area. We're going to get all of those people in that retirement community involved here in one way or the other. So with that, I think I'm just going to wrap this recording up. Wish everybody just a great week. God bless every single one of you in this business. Thanks, everybody. I'm just going to stop the recording now.
Happy birthday.